Hi friends, Mindy here. I'm going to do a flip through for you today of my completed journal for the big picture from Bythewell4God. This was the December devotional. I took a traveler's notebook and I added some paper to it, took out some of the pages that were in it. I have a video on how I did that. I'll try to remember to link that playlist down below. Also, just really quick to say, if you hear a bunch of screaming in the background, my neighborhood kids are having some fun today, so excuse that. But anyway, so this is going to be a really probably quick flip through because I kept this month pretty minimal. I just had a lot of stuff going on. I didn't have a lot of time, and the time that I did have, I really needed to make sure that I was focusing on the study and not as much on the artwork. So I took advantage of the beautiful pattern papers and the ephemera pieces and just did what I could, but really made sure that I was taking the time for the study because that's always, to me, the most important part. So this will be even more minimalist than what I had really intended for at the beginning of the month, but that's just kind of the way that it goes sometimes. So with that said, I'm just going to start. And so on the inside here, I have the kit sticker and just one of the leftover stickers, and then I just indicate that this was December so that in the future I can remember that. When I was creating the Traveler's Notebook, I wanted to make sure to have this as the front page because I just loved this pattern paper so much, and so I have that here just by itself. I didn't want to take anything away from it. I just wanted that to be kind of the focus for this front page. So moving into day one talked about kind of the structure of the Bible as a whole, the way that the books are structured in the Old and the New Testament. And so I just kind of went through and documented all of that. I do have some of the scriptures on flashcards here in this little pocket on the front page, but I just wanted to add this. I used the alpha stickers to do that, and then I have some like distress inks that I just made some little background texture on there, and then I used the stamp set that is, I'm trying to remember the name of it. The Big Picture Alpha is what it was called, that came out with this, and so I did that down here. And I did both the Old and the New Testament. I just wanted to have that kind of documented. This devotional, even though it was really released in December, would be such a good time to go through any time of the year, really, because it talks about kind of the overarching themes in the Bible. And so it's not just really only a kind of Advent situation. It was really just a good study, kind of understanding how the Bible is structured and different things about it that are just good information to have in my opinion. So anyway, moving on to day 2, talked about some genealogy. So I have some information about that. Again, I used the alpha stickers here and took some notes, and then I created a little pocket over here with some of the pattern paper, and I have all of my flashcards with the scriptures and stuff tucked in that pocket there. Used one of the cute little ephemera pieces there and up here in this corner. And then day 3, I have the pattern paper here in the background, and I actually used the stencil that released with the kit and some metallic texture paste to add this texture in the background. And then I used one of the journaling cards here and made a pocket for some notes here, and then another one over here on this side with one of the flashcards in there. That's for day 3. Day 4 had a good chunk of scripture that I wanted to write out, and so I had one of these journaling cards in my stash, and so I just pulled that out and wrote that, and then I just wanted to keep that tucked in the pocket, so I added some of the pattern paper here. And then this is one of the journaling cards that they had released this month, and so I started writing out the scripture there and finished it on the back side, and I just washi taped that on the side so that I could kind of tuck it in there like that. I have another one of those journaling cards over here with some notes on this side in that pocket. Day 4, I used one of the vellum pockets. Bythewell4God has an item that you can get. It's called a bag of bags, and in it are a bunch of different sizes and styles of like envelopes and things, and so there's like craft and white and some vellum. So I used one of those here, and I use that same texture paste. I actually did that when I was working on this page, I like to try to save all of the excess. And so after I was done doing this page, I just pulled out this envelope and used the excess on here. And it just gave it some interest. So I have my little flashcards with the scriptures tucked down in there, and it's just being held with this little paper clip. That was really not necessary. I just liked the little pop of red on there. I have a bunch of the ephemera pieces down here at the bottom, and then over here on this page, there were some points that I wanted to include that were in the devotional. And so I just wrote each one of those points out on a different label sticker and then added those on here. Day 5 had quite a bit of notes actually. And so what I did is I made little hinges on these flashcards so that I could glue that little hinge part down. And then I have the scriptures written out on the back. And then I used an envelope here. I added one of the stickers. I have some of the flashcards tucked down in there as well. And then I only glued this envelope down on 2 sides so that I could create a tuck spot for this other journaling card because it was too big, obviously, to go in that envelope. So that way I could just tuck this in there and kind of pull all of the colors together as well. And then the ones that I tucked in here were kind of ones that I wrote out the scripture, but I didn't have anything else on this page that was kind of that matched this color. And so it was just kind of one of the ways to make sure I could include it. But this page was already in the devotional or in the Traveler's Notebook from when I set up the Traveler's Notebook. So it just kind of makes it all work together that way. That's why those 2 particular ones are the ones in this pocket. But anyway, moving on, day 6 again is this paper. I wanted to make sure that I used this multiple times because I loved it so much. So I glued this down, and then I just created a little pocket there so that I could include some notes there without having to add anything over the top and cover up this page. And then on this page that was added when I created the devotional or the Traveler's Notebook, I added the flashcards and one of the journaling cards with all of the scriptures in there. Day 7, I actually used some packaging here from the kit, and because it had this beautiful pattern on it, I just added that here and made a pocket. And so it has several of the flashcards there with the scriptures written out on the back. And then I have a journaling card here with the scripture as well. And I just created a little pocket out of some of the pattern paper on that little corner. Day 8, I did that same thing where I kind of created a hinge, but this time I used clear sticker paper. So I have the scriptures written out on the back of each of those. And then I created a pocket out of one of those envelopes for this journaling card with some notes and also to hold the flash card. And then I just used some distress ink and stuff to color the background. And then these are stickers from the kit. Day 9, I used some of the stamps and just kind of created this little scene. And then I used the Daniel Smith watercolor dot card that comes with the kit to kind of watercolor that. And then I added this ephemera piece, and I just glued this down in a way that I could make a little tuck spot for my little flashcards there. And then this actually was one of the kit pieces. I think this was one of the bow clips that were attached to this. And so since it already had the scripture here, I just included the corresponding flashcard and just glued all of that down. So I try to take advantage of all of the pieces of the kit as they come. So this is day 10. And again, I used the ephemera piece here to create a little tuck spot for these little tiny library cards. And then over on this side, I have just created a little pocket for my journaling card and flashcards with my notes and scriptures on there. And I think this was also a bow clip piece. But I just love the little window scene there. So I just glued that on the top. And it's just only glued on this side so that it kind of keeps everything tucked neatly in my little pocket. Things won't fall out that way. And then there were other scriptures with day 10. There was actually a lot of scripture for that day. So this page right here was actually one that I inserted when I was creating the traveler's notebook. So I just glued the two sides here to create this pocket. And then I glued this ephemera piece so that it would kind of keep this pocket closed. And then I have all of my notes and scriptures tucked in there. Day 11 really talked a lot about the way that the 4 different gospels kind of tell the story about Jesus, and kind of who they were written to, and understanding that difference. They're telling, you know, some of the same parables and different things from their time with Jesus in different ways, but it's kind of important to understand the audience that they were writing to, and a bit of information about the authors, because they just approached some of their writings so differently. So I just had some notes from all of that, and how they kind of each chose to focus on telling the story of Jesus, but in a different kind of way. So I just included all of that information from the devotional. Day 12, this is one of those pieces from the bag of bags. This is one of those vellum envelopes that I just used. And I have a journaling card with my scripture tucked in there. And then I created a little pocket on this page to hold all of the flashcards with all of the scriptures for this day, day 12. Day 13, again, I just created some pockets for, I have this journaling card that has the scriptures on it, and then an envelope with some more of the flashcards in there. Just created a little pocket for all of those, and used some of the ephemera pieces to kind of decorate that page. And then this is day 14, and this page right here is actually the backside of another one of the pages from the front of the journal. So I just, again, I glued that down to create this pocket so that I could tuck the flashcard and a journaling card in there. And then I used the stencil that released for the kit from Bythewell4God with some distress ink just to create some interest in the background. I used this journaling card down here, created a little pocket for some more notes, and that pretty much wraps it up for day 14. So that actually takes me to the end of my journal. You can see I have just this one little piece left, this one page, which is totally fine. I am happy with how it filled up. I know I didn't have a lot of time, like I said, to do a lot of different techniques in the way that I really thought I was going to at the beginning of the month. A bunch of stuff just happened, and that is fine. So again, the most important part of that was making sure that I actually got through the study. So I wanted to share that. I know we're already into January, but if you liked this video, I would appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and until next time, bye.